All right, welcome again, guys, to another episode of reviewing these charts that I trade. So today is the 12th of September, and we are still looking at volatility 50S and 25S. So let's get into it. So starting from the daily time frame, we had a strong um buy day today. Little manipulation and then we just escalate it upwards, you know? So we pretty much reversed all of last week's sell candle. Today is Friday. We have one more day left in this week, Saturday. And these pairs they work 24/7. So that's from Sunday to Saturday, 7 p.m. to 7 p.m. So looking back at this chart, as I say, today we just went straight up. Now we're back at equilibrium of this last range. So we're back at this last structure leg on the daily time frame. Moving down to the 4 hour time frame, hit this OB, but actually overshoot it, and we're testing this new one now. Um, we had a change of character here. We came back and retested this breaker block, and we just shot right up. So would have been a good swing trade if a person had caught entries from any one of these lows, these higher lows that it made down here. So the order flow now is bullish on the 4 hour time frame as well as the 1 hour time frame, just screaming upwards with some very minor pullbacks here and there. So we went straight up today, as I say, and the 30 minutes just the same, straight up. So let's get into the charts and trading view and see where we could have capitalized on some moves. So let me actually do it from this chart first on MT5 using the tool. So like I said, we went straight up, just keep making breaker structures and retesting and just keep going up and up and up. Um, yeah, I took one trade today. Let me look at this right here before I was getting ready for work. I took an NG here, but I went break even. I just wanted a small step to get to this high right here on the 5 minute time frame. Let me see if I can find it. It didn't really work out as planned, but however, it was still a good trade. Um, so I was explaining on a short that I did this morning. This was an OB or a demand level that I got tested right here and got a little bit of a late entry, and I went break even as soon as price like came up to here. Now we came back down and it stopped me out break even in this channel, but my entry was a little bit later. My entry should have been down here in the OB, and assuming I didn't went break even, like I would have caught this move here before it came down back. Now going back to the lower time frame, going back to the 15 minute time frame, actually we actually came back down to this fair value gap, tested it, and then we just went straight up. There are a few entries here using these order blocks here, one here, and this would be on the 5 minutes. So we have 150 minute here, another 50 minute here. I'll just keep pushing up. We had another entry here. So that's what happened on the 15th. So let me go back to trading view now and mark them. So this was the trade, like I said. I was just trying to catch a scalp here, wanted it to run these highs, but when I entered, the stops that I moved to break even got taken out. So yeah, when it came back down here, it stopped me out. This candle came back down here and stopped. So we came back down to the 50-minute fear value gap, like I said. Let me get this fixed right here. This is where we came to. So because I'm not on the charts, I just try to capitalize on the moves that I can in the moment. I don't try to predict or plan moves. I just go off what I'm seeing with the current order flow. So if the market is going up, I'm buying. If it's coming down, I'm selling. That's how I operate. So these were the moves for today on volatility 50. So we came down to this fair value gap. I would use this as an entry. I would use this OB right here after we came back and tested it. And this would have given us a nice push up here. So this one here using this, and then now this one. So we had this entry here was late in the day. And as much as all these trades are like late in the trend, like you're going in the direction of the trend with the bullish order flow, so they are higher probability. You just have to be careful, use small positions or risk what you can afford to lose, and you can capitalize. Now, depending on which area you get the entries from. Some of these trades, like you can pretty much hold them for the entirety of the day. And that is how some of these trades end up becoming swing trades. Now, as I said, like I'm not in front of the charts all of the time, but if I was, I could catch a lot of these moves. So a lot of these entries do repeat themselves, and like it's not that hard to catch these moves. You just have to be present at the chart. So we had this move. It came back down to the 61.8% of the Fibonacci of this swing level, and we just went right back up. So that is pretty much it for volatility 25, 51s, I should say. So even here, this was a little small entry using this OB, but that is negligible. So save this chart, and then I go to volatility 25s. Now let me go back to the higher time frame. So on the daily time frame, we actually came up and we tapped into this order block here, favor supply zone here, and we sold off. Now this has been stuck in a range for the last, let's say, almost a month. So from the mid of August until we're almost at the mid of September right now, and we're in the same range. So on the weekly time frame, we were going right up, and we made this high. We weren't able to go low, and we came all the way back down. So 4 hour time frame now. This was the order block that we came into right here, or demand supply level. It would be clearer on the 1 hour. So yeah, this is the 1 hour time frame. Clean, clean, clean entry here for the sales, and even here when we at this OB came back to retest it on the 1 hour. And the 30 minutes is pretty much the same thing. Let me try to zoom out. Here's another move. Here's another move here, more refined. So this OB, our supply level got tested and respected, and we just sold off. So let me go now to MT5 on the 5 and the 15 minutes. So as I say, it's a same OB just refined and the lower time frame. We came up, tested this one, and we just sold off. So we hit a premium level and we sold all the way back down to the discounted level. Now I don't know if we're going to bounce here, but the order flow now on the 15 minute as well as the 30 minutes and 1 hour time frame is now bearish. So we flipped once we had these change of characters here and we keep on breaking structure coming all the way back down. Now all you have to do is just wait until we hit a higher time frame PDRA and external liquidity is swept and you can catch some of these trades in the opposite direction. The ability to realize when we go into reverse is key. So even though we got these continuations, we realize that we failed to create a swing high here. So we actually got a nice reaction from this other block, but we failed to create a swing high. And then now this failure swing just turned into a lower high to a lower low until we just pretty much melt back to the downside. Now back to MT, back to actually trading view where we can see this entry right here and then now go to the 5 minute time frame. This is where we sold off from. As you can see before we hit this higher time frame level, failed to go higher, and this was the first entry for the sell here. This was another entry here for the sell. And these zones, you just have to just risk the zone. Once the indicator marks the zone, you just have to wait for it to retrace. If it doesn't come back, then you don't force the trade. That is the way how I approach it. It came back again, tested this small one here. This one actually you have to include the wick. And this is just from building the order flow. So we just kept on melting all the way down. Some of the time you're not going to get much entry opportunities. This one tested this breaker block, and this one tested a fair value gap here, and we just melted. This one came back to this small breaker here, and we just melted. So that was the price action for Friday. So even here, some of these aren't the cleanest. I don't want to be forcing these entries, but these were some entry opportunities. Let me go back to the indicator to see if we had actually marked any of those. So yeah, the fair value gap, we didn't come all the way back up to this OB, and we kept on testing these fair value gaps and just melting. So that is actually what happened. So once we had the change of character, the failure swing, we tested this zone, we failed to go higher again after the second test, and we just melted. So that was pretty much it. We had a buy in the morning, so this was from 7 p.m. until 5 a.m. in the morning, and then we just flip bearish, and then we just continue selling off. So those were the entry opportunities. So let me clean this up a bit. And as I said, like if you're even trading these scalps like from zone to zone, depending on how many entries you got, you can hold some of these long term, depending on where inside the trend you got in, you can hold some of these, but even if you just catch a small scalp, it's still a valid trade. Like as I say, you just have to respect the zone. That is how you enter. It's using the zone and respecting the zone. So these are the opportunities for the cells. And all of these, like I said, you could have held for the entirety of the afternoon coming into the new day, which started at 7 p.m. So technically, after this red line, this is now Saturday. This is Saturday candle, you know. So that is actually what happened. So until the next episode, which might be tomorrow, I might try to do a video tomorrow. If not, then it would be Sunday. So catch you guys on the next one.